I know it's been a while since you've seen this closet, but guess what? I'm here and I'm back for the mess. What's going on, y'all? This be your boy Scotty by Nature TV, and we're here for another review, another episode of Yassss for the Mess, okay? Earlier today, I did 2 live versions of Yassss for the Mess where I talked about Erica Mena and Safari Samuels, and also where I talked about Shamia Morton, Portia, and her new boo, Simon. I talked about those earlier today, and now we're here doing it regular, the standard Yassss for the Mess type of videos. We're here to talk about Kandi, Burruss, and Todd Tucker. Now, before we get into Kandi, Burruss, and Todd Tucker, I just want to send special shout outs to all of my Team Scotty friends, everybody that have left me comments on my community wall, everybody that's reached out to me personally on Instagram or even Facebook, even on my Twitter account. I want to thank you guys for reaching out to me and sending me all your condolences for my uncle. My uncle recently passed last Tuesday right here in my home. He had throat cancer. He was dealing with hospice as well. He left Pennsylvania to come back home and basically rest peacefully around his family. And he died on last Tuesday morning right here in my home. He was living with us for 2.5 months up until he passed away. So it's hard to deal with. His funeral was just this past Monday, and that's why I was on a break. I had not done any videos for like 5 or 6 days, and now I'm back. But like I said before, I'm still grieving. It's a very difficult process, very difficult thing to deal with, being that he died right here in my home, just in the den. My room is not far from the den at all. I was the last person he had any kind of conversation with, and right before he passed. So it's a lot to deal with. It's a lot to try to get past. But you know, you remember what my last username was, which was Mr. Still Standing, and I always stand. And my Uncle Ken would definitely want me to keep going. So shout out to all of you guys for reaching out. Shout out to all of the other YouTubers that reached out to me, such as Jamar, Josiah, Terrence, Bundy, Jamie, Nisi, Josiah, Maddie, Gigs, All About the Tea, Erica De Niro, Layla Lynn, Yarel, Chocolate Beauty 81, the Brooke Ashley. There were a lot of people that reached out to me during this hard and difficult time. So I just want to take out this time before we get into the mess to thank you guys for looking out for me. I definitely appreciate that. The love was definitely felt in my heart. I did not respond to most of the comments because it was a lot of y'all, but just know that I read every single one of them, and I really appreciate it. Now it's time to get into the mess. Now, as you guys already know, whenever I do a Yassss for the Mess, I always tell you where I got my information from, and I have an article here from the Jasmine brand, and you already know how it goes down here. I read the article, give you my opinion, and I let you guys give yours in the comment section. So let's talk about Kandi Burruss and her new restaurant, Blaze. Kandi Burruss and her husband, Todd Tucker's restaurant, Blaze Steak and Seafood, has reopened after failing a health inspection. According to the AJC, Kandi Burruss and Todd Tucker's restaurant failed a health inspection on Tuesday, May the 18th, and the establishment voluntarily shut down to fix the issue cited by the health inspector. There reportedly weren't any bugs or rodents seen on the premises. However, there were quite a few other minor issues within the restaurant. Blaze Steak and Seafood reportedly received a 55 during an inspection, which is considered a failing score. According to the AJC, 9 points were deducted when the inspector witnessed a food handler switching from raw seafood to ready-to-eat foods without washing their hands, and an additional 9 points were cut when the prep coolers were above 41 degrees. In addition to that, a few 4-point penalties were noted, which reportedly included a Chick-fil-A cup in an unwarranted area, the lack of procedures and supplies for employees to handle body fluids such as vomiting and diarrhea, pink organic residue in the ice makers, and a lack of consumer advisory on the menu. There were also a few 3-point penalties noted for staff wearing inappropriate jewelry and storage issues. Kandi Burruss and hubby Todd Tucker seemingly wasting no time in fixing the issues within their establishment, and Blaze reopened on May 21st, which was this past Friday. As previously reported, Blaze Steak and Seafood opened on November of last year. The famous couple also owns the well-known restaurant The Old Lady Gang, which opened in 2017 and is also located in Atlanta. What are your thoughts on the restaurant shutting down temporarily? Tell us your comments below. Okay, now it's time for Scotty by Nature TV's opinion on the situation. Now, this is what I got to say about it. Kandi, Todd. Y'all got to get y'all shit together. Being someone that works in retail and we have the Eco Lab coming to visit us almost every other month, y'all got to get that shit together. They will deduct you for anything. They will deduct you for dust. They will deduct you for not sweeping the floor. They will deduct you for not having no the proper head wraps on. They will deduct you for not wearing the right type of clothes. They will deduct you for anything. So you have to make sure that everything is on point. You got to make sure that they look for everything. Like if we have a, like, you know where I work in the produce department. As you guys already know that. I work in the produce department. I was a produce manager at one point in time. So when we would have like our, say for instance in our back room, which is like our cooler, when we have like, you know, they don't want us to have cell phones on the floor. So a lot of the times if our phones need to be charged, there's plugs all over their back room. And we'll plug our phones. But when we know that Eco Lab is coming, they will let us know we cannot have no, like they will deduct points if they catch you having a cell phone charging up in the back room. They would deduct points from that. And you would think that this is all about, you know, sanitation, but it's not just about that. They are looking for everything, okay? And you got to make sure that shit is on point. Point blank, period. Whoever didn't have no damn mat, no damn gloves on, they should have been fired on the spot. Because how the hell are you touching raw food and you touching this and you touching that and you ain't got no gloves on? And even if you did have gloves on, if you touching raw seafood already, you need to change your gloves and then move on to the next type of ready-to-eat type of food. That's not good. So with that being said, Kandi and Todd, y'all got to make sure y'all are on point for everything. Make sure everything is clean appropriately. Make sure everything is swept appropriately. Make sure your place is sanitized, deodorized. Make sure your bathrooms are clean. Make sure of everything, because if you ain't got it right, they will deduct those points. I'm telling you, as somebody that works in retail, they will do that. We have a deli in our store. Okay, they go through there. If you ain't got the right head stuff for your head, they will deduct it. If you ain't got the mask on right, they will deduct it. If you got this right here and your trash is right here, they would like, girl, y'all gotta get it together, okay? I'm just letting you know how it is, because they would deduct you for any fucking thing. And it's just real talk. And another thing about Kandi's restaurants that I keep hearing, because I've never been to not one. I haven't been to the OLG yet, and I damn sure ain't been to Blaze. Now, I've heard not so good reviews about some of these restaurants. They say that her food is overpriced, which makes me not want to go, because I'm not paying a bunch of money for some shit that my mom could cook in the kitchen for free. Like, I ain't got time for none of that. So a lot of people were saying that they want it to be like this upscale restaurant, but the food that they serve is very much so not worth the price that they want to, you know, have. It's not worth it. So that's why a lot of people were giving out bad reviews for it, to be quite honest. That's just what it was. But to be honest, it's kind of like, you know, I just think that this was a slight mishap. You know, a slight mishap. It happens. But I just need for Kandi and Todd to get on their shit, because, you know, if y'all want to be business women and businessmen and all that type of stuff, you got to make sure your shit on point. Like, yeah, you can make all the money in the world, but you got to make sure your business is on point. And this is one thing that you made a mistake at. But it's okay. Everybody make mistakes. Hell, I make mistakes on my YouTube channel. Who knows? Hell, when you trying to run a business or you trying to run some shit, you're gonna make mistakes. But this is a big mistake, and you got to make sure them health inspectors do not play. I'm trying to tell y'all, they do not play. So you got to make sure your shit is on point. But what do you guys think about that? Let's talk about it below. And if you like this video, be sure to like it, rate it, subscribe, and share this video, or do whatever you see fit. If you have not followed me on Instagram yet, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Scotty_by_nature. My Twitter is ScottyByNature1. If you don't remember anything I just said, just look below. The Twitter handles and the Instagram handles will be right down there below. If you have not seen my panel for mental health awareness, be sure to check it out. It's already over 3,000 views already. The panel included myself, Bondi Blue, Contrary Canary, Erica De Niro TV, Chocolate Beauty 81. Y'all Rail was on there, of course. You know, my big bro was on there. It was so many of us on there. It was so many of us. Oh my God. Layla Lynn, Kempire Daily. It was so many of us up there, and we had such a touching and open and vulnerable conversation. Like, I cried a couple of times up there. Y'all know I do not cry. I pride myself on not crying. But it was a lot, okay? So be sure to check that out. With that being said, be on the lookout for more videos, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace and blessings.